one lap down, at least for the moment, until the pit stop cycles continue, as we're working lap number 90 of 200. Checking in on the battle for fifth, Matt Kenseth and Tony Stewart. This is 10 seconds behind the race lead of Mark Martin.
Yep, Tony Stewart's on the move forward. Just behind them is the 29 car, Kevin Harvick. These two guys have been running pretty hard. They've passed Kyle Busch and moved him back a couple more spots. So, see, Tony wants to get into the top 5.
Well, you know, Auto Club Speedway is one of only 3 active tracks that Tony Stewart does not have a win on. The other 2 are Las Vegas and Darlington. You see Kevin Harvick a little bit further back from those 2. Harvick running in the 7th position. Let's get an update on his teammate Jeff Burton. Burton has fallen back to the 27th position. Dave?
Yeah, and the only good news for Jeff Burton right now is that his crew chief Todd Barrier is back on top of the pit box. Remember, Todd left the track earlier today a little bit dizzy, was treated at a local hospital, and has come back here. The problem he has to deal with, stupid loose at the start of this run according to the driver, and then tight at the top, loose at the bottom, and oh, by the way, it's not turning. So a bit of a quandary right now for Barrier to try to fix this 31 for Jeff Burton that had been running near the top 10 at the first part of this race.
Things like that from the driver that make you dizzy again.
No kidding,
Andy trying to fix all of that. I don't mean to make light of Todd Barrier. We're glad he's back here and everything's okay, but man, that's just a lot to deal with a race car right there.
They really struggled. Last week had a good car for a lot of the race, and at the end just faded, kind of like he has just recently.
Looking at the battle right now between Jeff Gordon and Clint Bowyer. That is for 3rd on the racetrack. Boyer's the only driver in the top 6 right now that has not won here at Auto Club Speedway. We always keep talking about the cream rising to the top. The guys that have been good here are good again. You see them coming across the stripe. Good crowd here today at Auto Club Speedway. Beautiful day. It has been a beautiful weekend. There's the 99 of Carl Edwards back out on track, and Doc, he's running 35th right now.
Marty, what happened to Carl could be a lesson in troubleshooting 101 for a car that will not run. Now, hang with me here. Here's what happened. When the car shut off, they said it's probably electrical or fuel. They got to the garage area. They checked the electrical and said that we have coil, we have ignition, we have spark. What's got to be the fuel pump, right? Well, they changed the fuel pump. Nothing happened. They changed the fuel cable. Nothing happened. They go to back to the front of the car and change the distributor. It fires up, and he pulls back out. Here's the bad news, though. He's 15 laps down in 35th position.
I'll tell you, Doc, I had that exact same thing happen to my car at Pocono when Kenny Schrader was driving, and it is very frustrating. It took us forever, the same thing, to find it. You just don't expect that kind of failure.
See the battle for 8th right there with Ryan Newman. There you have Kyle Busch, also Martin Truex. Denny Hamlin's now decided to come down pit road. Dave?
Marty, he didn't like what happened to his race car on that run. He's fallen back to the 14th position before this round of pit stop started. He has lost grip. The car is tight, and so crew chief Mike Ford says, you know what, those changes we made last time, we'll go back. And that's what they're planning to do. Jeff Burton is on pit road as well, as is Jamie McMurray. For Burton, the 31 car, we had explained that long list of things they've got a problem with, so they'll make adjustments for Jeff Burton. And also the 1 car, McMurray, on pit road. He had a race car which, by his description, was just as loose as before, but better off the corner. So the 1, the 31, and the 11 all on pit road this early, guys.
They're keeping you busy. We're going to spread it around. Here comes Kyle Busch. Casey Kane, let's send it to Doc.
Kyle Busch says the car is, quote, junk. It will not turn in the corners. It absolutely is so loose right now. They're going to lower the air pressure in all 4 tires, try to make an adjustment. Kyle not only having trouble with his car, he said, how am I having trouble when the 24 and 48 are turning so well? Let's check in on the 9 car. Vince.
Well, that 9 of Casey Kane, you see him pulling off pit lane. He said the problem the whole race, the left front was down too much and was hitting the splitter, so they made an adjustment to help out Casey Kane.
Mark Martin stays out on the track. So does Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. We can tell you Bowyer is now in. Vince, he's coming your way.
With Clint Bowyer in the 33, just loose all the way around. They're working on rolling the center a little bit better. Going to put on 4 fresh tires, an air pressure adjustment, and a track bar adjustment as well. Jamie?
Tony Stewart said he was getting just a little bit tight in the center and off of 4 tires. They just loosened them up just a touch. Car's been good. He broke into the top 5 right before that pit stop.
Matt Kenseth pulls out right behind Tony Stewart. Also, we can tell you that Ryan Newman has come back out. Kurt Busch is pulling out, and here comes race leader Mark Martin as he has made it halfway down pit road. Let's send it to Dave Burns.
And Marty, that loose that he likes had gone to just a little bit tight by the end of that run. The crew chief Alan Gustafson plans no changes for that 5 car, so they're just going to get it full of Sunoco fuel and put 4 Goodyear tires on that car as Brad Keselowski leaves as well. Vince.
Jimmy Johnson, they're taking a pretty big swing at it, a chassis adjustment. They say they just need to be faster. 4 tires, Doc.
Jeff Gordon loose early, tight late. They're putting the air pressure back in and adding some wedge back. He's away.
Well, Kevin Harvick's going to get a speeding penalty for too fast exiting. We just got the word. So that is going to be costly for him. Just what he did not need in this chase for the Sprint Cup, 4th race of 2010. We are approaching halfway. And you can see that things have sort of calmed down. That's Carl Edwards back on pit road. Remember, he is 15, now 14 laps down. Side by side, that's Brad Keselowski along with Jeff Burton. You see that little stripe on the right side of Burton's car. That can't be good for it.
Now, it looks like he had been against the wall. I didn't see that earlier until he made his pit stop. You could tell he had been against the wall, and maybe that explains why he's struggling so much.
You can see all the tape on the 12. We saw him earlier get into the wall.
Burton currently running 28th. Edwards 35th. Biffle was out of this race in 41st. And that's the lowest anybody will have finished if it stays that way in the chase races so far this year. The lowest in 2 of the other prior races was 25th position. David Gilliland is shown as our race leader. There he is in the Taco Bell, as he is running right now 3 seconds ahead of Mark Martin, but he still has a pit stop to make, and he'll be making it soon. Go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Race leader Mark Martin is quickly approaching Kevin Harvick. Harvick trying to stay on the lead lap. Remember, he had to serve a speeding penalty, a pass through, puts him back in 28th position. There you see Kevin, and well, he's going to have to pull another one of those magic tricks we've seen so happen. Take a look at our Gillette Pro Glide profile, but first let's get a report from Jamie Little.
Well, Kevin Harvick, you guys started 21st, and of course he's been struggling with that tight end. Early on in the race, he thought it was just the wind, but the wind has died down, and he still has the same problem. However, they've been making air pressure adjustments, and it is working out. But guys, that too fast exiting really hurt this team. Now he has to fight his way all the way back up.
And we've seen him do it so many other times, as you can see on the screen.
This is what he's done all year long. I mean, he's just found a way to get to the front at the right time at the end of the race. And I think he's still got plenty of time. It's still almost over halfway to go.
And look who has caught up to each other. David Rudiman, Kyle Busch. Remember what happened last week at Kansas. And so far, each has given each other plenty of room.
Yeah, Rudiman had called Kyle Busch after this round of pit stops. Came back out. Rudiman looks like he's been adjusting on his car and made it a lot better here.
That is the battle for 7th place on the racetrack. Remember, Rudiman had a good run going last week at Kansas. That's what got him up on the tire, was when Kyle got into him and turned him into the wall. Let's check in on the Hendrick boys. You got the battle for 2nd heating up between Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Gordon's right on top of him.
Yeah, he's been reeling Jimmy in the last few laps.
Stay on the battle on the right side as well. See if Kyle can catch up. Doesn't look like he's going to do it right now on Rudiman. Here goes Jimmy down low on the left side of your screen.
We'll have to see if this was a situation that Jeff Gordon made a really good adjustment to his car, or if Jimmy and his team taking this big swing at theirs have hurt their car.
So give Jeff now up to 2nd place. Bump Johnson back to 3rd.
It's one of the things we saw with Jimmy Johnson early in the season, not be able to really adjust his car and get it better. But last week at Kansas, they did. They worked on it every pit stop and steadily moved their way to the front and got a 2nd place finish. So don't know which Jimmy Johnson team we're going to see today, but so far it's not going exactly the right direction for him.
Yeah, but he's still doing what he needs to do. I mean, he's running 3rd. That still is what you're looking for, consistency up front. David Rudiman, Kyle Busch, they've opened up a little bit of ground between the two of them, Doc.
We all know what happened last week at Kansas. You know, and on Friday of this week, NASCAR had them both sit down in a meeting, and NASCAR talked to both of them. Neither one of them said much to each other. But Friday night here at the Speedway, David Rudiman and Kyle Busch met privately, face to face, to talk it over. And what I'm told happened in that meeting was they talked about how they had raced each other in the past and who had done what and who was wrong. And afterwards, they talked about from now on how